What's up YouTube, it's Robo13. Today I'm going to talk about everything that happened during WWDC 2012. I'm going to talk about the new Macs, Mountain Lion, and iOS 6. Alright, so as you guys all know, WWDC 2012 happened in June 11th. That was 2 days ago, so this video is kind of a little late, but I wanted to make it either way. People came from all over the world. I don't know exactly how many. They said it in the keynote. You guys can check it out. I have links in the description for you guys to go watch the keynote. But there were signs posted all over the place of iOS 6 a few days, I think, before the actual event, so people knew iOS 6 was coming. But let's just jump right into it. Tim Cook came out on stage and was talking about the new Macs, Mountain Lion, and iOS 6. They just said that they have a whole new lineup of Macs. So first what they talked about was a new MacBook Air with Ivy Bridge processors that has USB 3, has up to 2.0 gigahertz dual-core i7 processor if you want to upgrade to that. Has turbo boost up to 3.2 gigahertz. You guys can see it all right here on the screen. It has 512 gigs of flash memory. That's huge. That's half a terabyte, so that's actually a lot of memory, and it's flash storage, so it'll be really fast. It has USB 3 now. That's very good if you guys have USB 3.0 external hard drives. They now bumped up the webcam to 720p, so you guys will be able to see HD webcam usage out of your MacBook Airs. Here are both the photos of the MacBook Air 11-inch and the 13-inch. You guys can compare the two different things. The MacBook Air at 11-inch starts at $999, and the 13-inch starts at $1199. So you guys can both see those. There's actually really good prices for the MacBook Airs. I think they're down $100 from last time. From last year what they had. The 13-inch can be upgraded to 2.7 gigahertz quad-core processor. It's an i7 chip, so it can be hyper-threaded. Has a turbo boost up to 3.7 gigahertz, up to 8 gigs of RAM, 1600 megahertz memory, and 60% faster graphics, as you guys can see right here in the picture. They have both been upgraded to the new NVIDIA GeForce GT 650M graphics cards. So those are actually really good. I think they had Radeon before. I have Radeon in my HP and I have Radeon in the iMac. They both work fine, but the NVIDIA graphics cards just seem to work a lot better with these kind of things. It has 1 gig of the graphics card and up to 60% faster than the older generation MacBook Airs. Alright, and then right after that, they came out with a little few upgrades for the MacBook Pros. They have the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now it's up to Intel HD 4000 graphics, has the 2.5 dual-core i5 processor, 1280 by 800 display. The MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro didn't have a Retina display like everybody thought they were going to have. They just have the standard displays that they had before. They upgraded the MacBook Pros to better processors just like they did with MacBook Airs. The MacBook Airs, in my opinion, had a better upgrade than the MacBook Pros. And the new MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro were shipping 2 days ago, but now I think it's up to 2 to 3 weeks to get it to ship. Right after that, they showed this picture which had a kind of a sheet over top of it. They didn't want anybody to see it right away, and it's called the next generation MacBook Pro. As you guys can see in these pictures right here, I'll be flashing through these. It's very thin, it's very light. It's 4.46 pounds. It's a little bit thinner than the current MacBook Pro. It's a little bit thicker than the MacBook Air, so it's kind of right in between there. It does have a Retina display, and it's 15 inches. I think 15 inches is the perfect size because 17 is huge. My roommate last year had a 17-inch MacBook Pro, and I think it was huge. I mean, I couldn't even walk around with it. I think the 15-inch MacBook Pros will look amazing. It has a 2800 by 1800 display, so that's full Retina display. You won't be able to see the individual pixels, so that's amazing. It has over 5 million pixels in this display, so you will not be able to see any of them. From this picture, you guys can see the new layout of the design inside the computer. Pretty much over half the computer is just the battery. That's why it can get such a good battery life. You got 2 fans up top there, and you got the NVIDIA graphics card in there as well. It has the Intel Core i7 fastest quad-core processor. You can upgrade it up to 16 gigs of RAM. It has 1600 megahertz. It has an NVIDIA graphics card as well. It has the next generation Kepler graphics. It has GeForce GT 650M, so those are great graphics cards. It can get up to 768 gigabytes of flash storage. That's more than the other MacBooks that they talked about. It has over 500 gigs, so that's amazing. It has almost a terabyte of flash storage in this computer, so that's a ton of storage for you guys to put all your stuff on it. It has up to 7 hours of battery life and up to 30 days of standby time. It has dual microphones built in, has a FaceTime camera, has HD camera. I think it's 720p. I'm not sure if they talked about that too much. And then here are the official specs of it. You guys can see right here. And it did ship that day. Again, I think it's back up to 2 to 3 weeks to ship. All right, let's move on to Mountain Lion now. This is the newest operating system from Apple. It'll be coming out next month. Some of the biggest things with the new Mountain Lion is it has the notification center, it has the Notes app. It has pretty much, they're kind of trying to put iOS 6 and Mountain Lion kind of together. So they're kind of trying to make one operating system for the whole Apple, all their devices. So they're making notification center, they're making the messages, they're making reminders, they're making notes, they're making all the stuff that you could get on the iPad or the iPhone or the iPod Touch for the Mac. So that's going to be really cool. You guys can have them all sync together and have them look really cool between all the devices that you have. A very cool thing that's coming to the Mac is Dictation. That'll be in Mountain Lion as well. You'll be able to talk to your Mac and have it type out whatever you want. It will not have Siri. That was a rumor that it might have Siri, but it did not come with Siri at all. that's not in mountain line at least. But you will be able to talk to your Mac. As you can see in this picture right here, you can tweet. You can just click on that and say whatever you want. It'll tweet for you and then it'll send it out. Another cool thing that they have, I showed in my other video on iOS 6, is they have this thing called iCloud tabs, I think it's called. You can see all the tabs are on all your other iDevices, and you can bring them up on your Mac, on your iPad, on your iPhone, all those devices. You can see all the tabs that are open on those current devices on the Safari app, and you guys can go between those if you want. Another thing that they added in was this thing called Power Nap. What that does is it keeps your Mac up to date while it sleeps. It'll pretty much, while the computer is sleeping, it will update your Mac. It'll update all the applications that you have silently in the background. It won't use up your power as much. It's very power efficient. It's silent. It's a very cool feature if you guys don't really update your Macs that much. It'll do it all for you. Another cool thing that they have was this thing called AirPlay Mirroring. They've had it out before. They've had it out for a while, but now they have it very easy to use. You can even use it with your iPad, your iPhone, your Mac. You can use it with your big iMac that I have right here. If I had any of those, I could use it with this. They're bringing it all into iOS. They're bringing it all into Mountain Lion. It's going to be amazing. Next, they're also bringing in a Game Center for the Mac, which would be very cool. You guys can play all your games on the Mac. You can also play them on your iDevices, so that would be very cool. And some developers are actually coming out and making apps that are universal for everything. So you can play somebody on their iPod on your Mac. You know, you could play a racing game. If you're wanting to race them on your Mac, they can play it on their iPod and you can both play against each other. Like I said before, Mountain Lion will be coming in July and it's only $20. And if you buy a Mac between now and then, you will get it for free. So $20 for a brand new operating system, that's an amazing price. Unlike Windows, where I have to pay like $150 when Windows 8 comes out. That's going to be ridiculous. So I'm very happy Mac came out or Apple came out and said that it was only going to be a $20 upgrade. That's amazing. I will definitely be getting it as soon as it is released in July. All right, and the last thing they talked about was iOS 6. They came out and right away started talking about Siri, all the new things that Siri can do. It can now talk about sports. It can talk about baseball, basketball, football, soccer, all the different sports that you guys like. You can ask it questions about the sports games. It can find those. It can also find stuff about restaurants, more important things about restaurants. You can find the reviews of them. You can reserve a table if you wanted to. It also can find movies for you. If you ask it a question about a movie, it can find what time the movie's at, and it can even buy you tickets right there. And now another thing that it can do is actually launch apps. As I showed you guys in the iOS 6 video that I had before, links will be down below if you haven't seen that. You can tell Siri to launch Temple Run and it'll actually go and launch it for you right there. I don't really get the point of that when you can just click on the app itself, but either way, it's a very cool feature that it can have. There's another feature coming out, it's called Eyes Free, so this will allow you to use it in your car. In the next 12 months or so, all these companies are going to be coming out making eyes-free ready cars that you can just push a button, you can talk to Siri. Siri will stay turned off on your lock screen so you won't see it, but you'll be able to talk to her, through the Bluetooth and that kind of stuff, and have her launch apps, send text messages, call somebody, look up directions, all that kind of stuff. They're also bringing Siri to all these different kind of languages. Almost every big language now is covered by Siri, so you'll be able to use that wherever you go. And then they talked about bringing Siri to the iPad. I showed a video on that as well in iOS 6. But they're bringing Siri to the iPad. It's very cool. It works just as well as it does on the iPhone. It can do pretty much everything that the iPhone can do next to texting, because the iPad doesn't really have texting besides iMessage. Then they talked about Facebook integration, just like they did with Twitter integration. Now they're doing Facebook integration, where you can have pretty much Facebook wherever you go. If you use Facebook, that's good. I don't really use it myself, so I don't really care about this at all. They have it in the App Store, the iTunes, the Game Center, everything. You can talk to Facebook. You can post stuff on Facebook. You can post pictures everywhere. You can post your status updates, all that stuff. If you guys use Facebook a lot, this will be really good for you guys. One thing they added in with the phone app is that when someone's calling you, before you kind of just had to sit there and wait for it to end. But now you can just slide up, and you guys can see right here it says reply with message or remind me later. If you click on reply with message, it'll then end the call, and then you can send a text message right away. Pre-programmed one. It says I'll call you later, all those other ones. Or you can type in a custom one that you guys want to send to if someone's calling you during a meeting or something. You can just flip that up, send them a really quick text message, and tell them not to call you back. The other one that you can click on is Remind Me Later. The phone will then remind you in an hour, or when you leave, when you get home, when you get to work. You can actually set a geofence around you so that when you leave that meeting, it'll then remind you to call that person back. So that's very cool if you have location services turned on. Another option that they added in was Do Not Disturb. This will allow you to turn your phone pretty much completely off without actually turning it off. You won't get any messages. You won't get any phone calls. You won't get anything unless you tell it to specifically get a phone call from a specific person. So you can turn it on, from 10 o'clock to 7 a.m. in this picture, and you can have it just set to your favorites, like your mom, your dad, your family, whatever. You can have it set so that only those people can get in contact with you, or you can set it so that nobody can get in contact with you at all. There's also an option down there that you can turn on. It's an emergency call pretty much. If someone calls you twice within 3 minutes, that second call will go through, so that if it's an emergency and they need to get in contact with you, it will actually go through so you guys will be able to get that call. A big thing they added in was FaceTime over cellular. I know I have a lot of viewers in other countries who couldn't talk over Wi-Fi, so they were forced to use 3G, and they can't use FaceTime because FaceTime before didn't work over 3G, but now they're changing that. Now you can use it with your data plan. As long as you have an unlimited data plan, you really don't have to worry about it at all. That'll be a very cool thing, even though it probably won't be the greatest because it's still over 3G. And it probably won't look that great at all. Unless you're using the new iPad where it has the 4G, that'll probably look pretty well because that's almost as fast as Wi-Fi speeds in itself. They added offline reading lists, so now you can save your tabs if you want to go, if you're like on the run or something, you don't have 3G or you don't have Wi-Fi around you. They also added this thing called Smart Apps Banners. It's really for developers. If you go to like Yelp.com, now Yelp will have this little thing at the top saying that you can install their mobile app in the App Store, and if you already haven't installed it, it'll come up with a little open tab, so you can click on that. It will then open up that app from your iDevice, and then it'll bring you to the exact page that you were on the website. They talked about shared photo streams, so now you can share your photos with different people. You can share it with your family, your friends. It depends on who you want to share your photos with. And then those people can comment on those photos, just kind of like Facebook, but it's your own personal photo stream app so that you guys can go see other people's photos. You can share it with people really quickly. You share it with all your family if you wanted to, but that's a very cool thing that they added in. A few things that they added in for the mail app. They added in this VIP section and the flag section. So now they have their own little mailboxes if you guys VIP people or you flag people. Now those will go directly to those mailboxes, so you can keep them all in check in one mailbox. You can keep them all together. One thing I'm very happy about is that they added in insert photo or video for the email. I remember before I had to, if I wanted to send a photo to somebody, I would have to go into the Photos app, find that photo, click on that, send the email from there, and then type in my email after that. That was kind of a pain, so now they added it in right into the mail app. You can type up your email, and then you can just click and hold and then insert your photo right from there. They finally added it in, so I'm happy about that. A few little things that they added in was you can open protected Office docs. If you guys are in college or you're in a job where you have to open up protected Office documents, now you can type in the password right from there and open it up straight through your app. They also added in a pull to refresh. This was a jailbreak tweak, so I feel like Apple is now actually finally getting some of the jailbreak stuff that people love and putting it actually into iOS. So pull to refresh was a jailbreak tweak that they had for a while in the Mail app and in Safari. I don't think they have it in Safari right now, but they do have it in Mail. So all you have to do is pull down on the Mail and then it'll actually refresh for you. You guys have probably seen it before if you have jailbroken. They added in Passbook, so what this is, it'll keep all of your different passes together. It'll keep your right here it says Starbucks, Amtrak's, Apple Store, United, all your sports tickets, your movie tickets, any kind of ticket that you have. It could be a Starbucks gift card, it could be a movie gift card, it could be an Apple Store gift card. Anything that you have is pretty much a card that you can save. It'll save it actually into this app, so you don't have to worry about where it is. Like say you're going on an airplane and you wanted to get Starbucks, you can just bring up this app. You have a Starbucks card, you get coffee. Then you bring up your United boarding pass and it'll say, oh, your gate changed to gate whatever, and now you can go find that. It actually has updates. It'll update you if things change, especially for the boarding passes for airplanes. But then it'll say it right there and you can just go in and show them that and you can get right on the plane. It's all easy. You don't have to go find that app and then find that day and then find all your passes like that. It's all under one easy to find spot. They added this thing called guided access. Now what this is, it's really for teachers. They can set it so that certain areas of the page they can't click, like students. It also helps kids with autism. They can use it all they want. They won't have to mess up the iPad. If you hit the home screen, it won't work. If you, the teacher can actually circle certain areas of the page that will not work. Like you can disable the back button if you wanted to. You just have to circle it with the guided access and it'll disable that for that time period that you're using it. So if especially if kids are using it for quizzes, like teachers are using this to actually administer tests and stuff, the teachers can turn it on so that way the kids can't hit the home button to go cheat on Safari. So they can actually use this for teaching now, which would be really cool if teachers start to use this like in high school or elementary school or something. And teachers won't have to worry about it if they just give it to all their kids. They don't have to worry about them messing up their iPads or anything like that, especially the school. If the school owns it, they don't have to worry about it getting messed up. One of the biggest things they added in iOS 6 is called Maps. They finally got rid of Google Maps. They're kind of done with Google. They're done with the partnership. Apple pretty much built this app from the ground up. It's brand new. It kind of does look like Google Maps, but Apple kind of added in their own thing. It's very cool. It has traffic view. You guys can see traffic if you use this when you drive. You can see incident reports. You can see anonymous, real-time, crowdsourced, updated traffic stuff. So if somebody sees a traffic accident, they can actually update the map so that people will know that there's a traffic accident and that there's going to be traffic there, so you can avoid that. One of the biggest things they added in was turn-by-turn navigation. Now it has a free turn-by-turn navigation system built right into the Maps app. From what I heard though, this will only work on the iPhone 4S and the new iPad. I'm not sure about that. We'll see what happens in a few months when iOS 6 fully gets released, but hopefully they do bring that to the iPhone 4 because I would definitely use that turn-by-turn navigation system. You can even ask Siri as you're going to change the routes. It'll actually update itself. So it's if it sees that traffic is ahead, it'll actually try to reroute you around the traffic. So that's very cool. And in this photo, even the kids can ask, "Are we there yet?" And Siri will respond, "Relax, enjoy the ride. You'll be there in 14 minutes." So that's very cool. Everything is now kind of implemented right into the Maps app. So that's very cool. Another thing that they added in was this thing called 3D mode and flyover. So that's very cool, especially in the big cities. You guys can see the 3D models here. I explained this in my iOS 6 video, so if you guys want to see more in depth of the 3D mode, you guys can go check that video out. But that's a very cool feature that they added in. Apple actually flew over all this area with helicopters and planes and took pictures and have this all photographed. So they look really good in the app when you guys go check it out. The 3D mode doesn't currently work in the iPhone. I noticed that in my iPhone 4 it doesn't actually work. There is no 3D option, but in my iPad it does, in the new iPad at least. So I don't know, we'll see what happens in the new betas. If they come out for other devices such as the iPhone 4 or the later generation iPads, hopefully they will, because I would like to see that on my iPhone. But that's pretty much it. There were 200 new user features in iOS 6. I haven't gotten to all of them, but I'll try to make more and more videos about all the new features that I find. It works for the iPhone 3GS, the iPhone 4, and the iPhone 4S. The iPad 2nd and 3rd generation, and the iPod Touch 4th generation. So if you have an older generation device, I'm sorry, but you will not be getting iOS 6. The iPhone 3GS is currently the oldest device that you can really get it for. So if you guys do have an older device, I'm sorry, but you will not be able to get iOS 6. But that's it. They talked about the new Macs, Mountain Lion, and iOS 6. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please hit that like button down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that iOS 6 is not really that big of a deal? Do you like Mountain Lion? Are you going to get it? And are you going to buy a new MacBook? The new MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, or even the next generation MacBook Pro with the Retina display. Those are great products that they came out with WWDC 2012. I hope you guys like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.